8 AI productivity hacks the top 1% use. That nobody is teaching you. There are two types of people using artificial intelligence right now. The ones who open ChatGPT, type something vague like, make it better, get a generic response, and conclude that AI is overrated. And the ones who have figured out how to turn that exact same tool into a real productivity multiplier, saving 30 hours or more a week, building entire businesses in their spare time. The difference between these two groups is not talent. It is not a computer science degree. It is that one group knows 8 specific techniques the other has never even heard of. Today I am going to teach you those 8 techniques. No need to pay for $5,000 prompt engineering courses. No need to know how to code. You just need to understand how to think differently when interacting with AI. Let us begin. 1. The only prompt template you actually need. The difference between someone who gets mediocre responses from AI and someone who gets extraordinary results comes down to one thing: the quality of the instruction they give it. Most people write something like, make it better, or help me with this, in 3 words. And then they wonder why the response is generic. Here is the complete template that summarizes 99% of what you need to know about writing good prompts. First line. Tell the AI what role it should take on. You are a top 0.1% expert in negotiation, or in digital marketing, or in whatever area you need. That single line completely changes the quality of the response. Second line. The specific task you wanted to complete. Not something vague, something concrete and measurable. Third line. The context. All the relevant information you have. What you have already tried, what worked, what did not work, what your time or budget constraints are. Fourth line. The constraints. If you have a budget limit, a time constraint, or any specific condition, state it explicitly. And the last line, the one that changes everything the most. Ask it to ask you clarifying questions one at a time until it is 95% confident it can complete the task successfully. That last instruction is pure gold. It forces you to think more clearly about what you are actually asking for, and you will frequently discover that your original instruction was much vaguer than you thought. 2. Use AI as your intellectual sparring partner. Here is a mindset shift that completely transforms the quality of your decisions. Most people use AI as a partner that simply validates whatever idea they bring to it. You tell it your business plan and it tells you it is great. That feels good, but it does not actually help you improve. Instead, explicitly ask it to argue with you. To identify your weak points. To tell you where your assumptions are weakest. To ask you what data you would need to collect to convince it that you are right. This works incredibly well for business decisions, for evaluating ideas, for finding flaws in your reasoning before those flaws cost you real money or time. Think of it this way: if you were making an important decision without AI, you would probably talk to partners, to advisors, to people who would give you honest feedback, not just validation. AI can be exactly that kind of critical partner, if you ask it directly. 3. Your 24/7 tutor for any question. Here is a habit very few people have developed, and it completely changes how fast you can learn new things. When you get stuck on something, when you do not know which button to click, when you are following a tutorial and suddenly something on screen does not match what you expected, most people wait for the perfect tutorial, or ask in a video's comment section and wait hours or days for a response. Instead, ask the AI directly. Take screenshots of whatever is confusing you and ask for help. It is surprisingly good at analyzing images and walking you through things step by step. This applies to troubleshooting technical problems, to understanding brand new tools that just came out, to any moment you feel lost. Instead of looking for the perfect guru who has all the answers, become someone self-sufficient who knows how to get those answers on their own. Try this for the next 2 weeks. For every question you have, ask the AI first before asking a person. You will notice that most of your questions get resolved much faster than you expected. 4. Break big tasks into repeatable skills. Here is a concept that separates people who use AI in an amateur way from those who use it like professionals. When you have a complex task, like building an entire product or producing content consistently, the key is not asking AI to do everything at once. The key is breaking that large task down into smaller, repeatable pieces. For example, if your goal is to create social media content regularly, instead of telling AI, "Create content for me," break it into specific steps. One skill just for researching topics that generate interest, another skill just for creating the outline, another for writing the full content, and another for reviewing quality before publishing. Each of those pieces becomes something you can refine, improve, and reuse over and over again. And the most powerful part is that the AI itself can automatically figure out when to use each one depending on what you ask for. You do not need to copy generic templates you find online. The most effective approach is creating your own specific processes based on your particular way of working, your preferences, and your unique constraints. 5. Stop repeating your context every single time. Imagine having to explain your entire business to 5 different people every single time you ask them for help. Exhausting, right? That is exactly what you are doing when you start new conversations with AI without any saved memory or context. The solution is creating a central document, a sort of folder containing everything important about your project, your business, or your preferences, that the AI can automatically reference without you having to repeat it every time. This includes your brand voice, your past decisions, your constraints, the type of content you produce, your quality standards. Everything you would normally have to explain over and over again. And here is the most powerful trick almost nobody uses. Instead of updating that document manually every time, ask the AI itself to do it. After an important conversation, simply ask it what key information it should extract and add to your memory document. This turns your system into something that evolves automatically over time, becoming increasingly specific and useful to your particular situation, without you having to do the manual work of keeping it updated. 6. The surprising power of repeating your instructions. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but recent research fully backs it up. Repeating the same instructions to AI, even within the same conversation, improves the quality of the responses. It makes sense if you think of it like working with a team. When you give important instructions to people, you generally repeat the most critical parts so they stay top of mind. AI works exactly the same way. In very long conversations, information piles up and AI can lose sight of what your original priorities were. If in the middle of a long conversation you briefly remind it what your most important goals or key constraints are, you will notice a significant improvement in the quality of what you get afterward. This is not about repeating massive amounts of information. It is about repeating specifically the most important things, the few details that genuinely cannot get lost in the process. 7. Spend 90% of your time planning, not executing. This is probably the most important behavior shift on this entire list, and the one fewest people apply naturally. When you are working on something important, whether it is building a product, creating a strategy, or developing a project, the natural temptation is to start executing immediately. But the best results show up when you invest 80 to 90% of your time in the planning phase before touching execution. This is the phase where you use the previous hacks. You discuss the idea with AI, identify weak points, explore alternatives, ask questions like, "Did you consider this other angle?" Or, "What would happen if we approached it this different way?" Only when you are genuinely satisfied with the complete plan do you move into the execution phase. And here comes another crucial piece of advice. Watch closely what AI is doing while it executes, especially for high-risk or high-complexity tasks. If you notice it drifting from the agreed plan, stop it in time before that drift costs you having to redo all the work from scratch. Careful planning is not wasted time. It is the investment that prevents you from losing far more time fixing mistakes you could have prevented. 8. Connect AI to your actual work tools, and here is the hack that transforms AI from a simple conversational assistant into something that actually executes work for you. So far we have talked about how AI can tell you what to do. But there is an additional layer where AI can connect directly to your real work tools, your email, your spreadsheets, your social media, your project management systems, and execute real actions inside those systems. The difference is the same one that exists between a consultant who tells you what steps to follow, and an employee who actually performs those steps for you. Imagine being able to tell AI, review last week's sales, summarize the issues reported by customers, and prepare a report ready to send Monday morning. All of that, without you having to manually open each tool separately. The initial setup can seem intimidating if you do not have technical experience, but once properly configured, it opens up a level of automation most people do not even know exists today. Ask AI directly. Here are the apps I use, help me understand which ones can be connected and walk me through the setup step by step. That simple prompt will guide you through the entire process. Let us recap the 8 hacks that separate people who use AI in a basic way from those who use it as genuine productivity multipliers. Number 1. A structured prompt template with role, task, context, constraints, and clarifying questions. Number 2. Use AI as a critical discussion partner, not just a validator. Number 3. Turn it into your 24/7 tutor for any question. Number 4. Break large tasks into small, repeatable skills. Number 5. Create a central memory document that updates itself automatically. Number 6. Repeat your most important instructions, especially in long conversations. Number 7. Invest most of your time planning before executing. And number 8. Connect AI directly to your real work tools. None of these hacks require you to be a programmer. None require paying for expensive courses. But there is one thing that is non-negotiable: actual practice. Watching this video will not get you results if you do not apply what you just learned. The difference between people who genuinely progress with AI and people who stay stuck is not knowledge. It is how many times they actually sit down and practice it for real. Pick one of these 8 hacks and apply it today in your next conversation with AI. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who is still typing, make it better into ChatGPT hoping for magic. And subscribe if you want to keep learning how to use these tools at a professional level. See you in the next video.